That's so dumb. So I was trying to the playback. Anybody who just happens to join now, I was trying to set up the icon, the thumbnail, so that it would show Porter and Crawford, but of course it didn't let me do it. So here we are. Probably not gonna get nobody. They're gonna see a picture of Guts from Berserk or Gutsu, and yeah, highly doubt. And then I can't tag the video because I'm driving, as you can tell by the blinker. So I was just curious. I didn't see no live boxing channels at the moment. So, I was wondering if somebody want to talk about this fight. Here's some other people's points of views, but I'm not going to be on long, so I may not even be on long enough for people to join. But we're going to see if people type in the chat or want to talk about this fight. What's going on, JD? How you doing? Bro, this was a very impromptu, very short live. Just wanted to see what people thought about this fight. As you could tell, there was no thumbnail. Yeah, I was talking about that when I first went live like 2 minutes ago. Yeah, it wouldn't let me put a fucking thumbnail up before I went live, so it is what it is. I highly doubt anybody's gonna even know who Guts is, especially like people looking for boxing. They're gonna be like, what the fuck is this anime picture? They're gonna have no ideas about Gutsu. But how you doing today? You doing good? Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to do this. I need to do this. Copy. Um, come on. This is hard to do driving. Paste. You said we do know who Guts is. You know who Guts is, but the majority of the people probably won't. Yeah, man, I'm chilling, waiting for Crawford to show out. Yeah, like I've been saying for a very long time, even before this fight got announced, when it was first talked about, you got to go way back with this, like at least probably maybe 2 years ago, at least a year and a half ago, when people were saying that Bud was ducking Porter and he didn't want to fight Porter. And way back then, I was saying that, nah, man, if there was the fight, Bud's going to knock him out. He's going to knock him out. It's just, to me, stylistically, everything Porter does good is bad against Crawford. You don't want to do what Porter does against Crawford because he'll take that, your strength, and turn into a very bad weakness by pressing him like that. And I just, in my mind, thinking about it, I don't see how Porter can beat him. I just do not see any avenues of where Porter is just going to manhandle or maul Bud. Like, there's no aspect of this fight that I see that he could win. It'd be one thing if Sean Porter showed, like, explosive knockout power, but he smothers all his power. He gets too close. He can't get full extension on his punches, and he never really has that full explosion. So I don't see what he's going to do to cause harm to Crawford, especially as tough as Crawford is. Let me see what you wrote. Crawford looked like a nightmare during the weigh-in. I've never seen that. That's that competition. This is what I'm saying. To me, I'm gonna be honest, and I've said this a lot of times. Terrence Crawford is a very boring person. If you listen to him talk, he's very laid back. He's very dull. He's very boring. However, if you can put him in something competitive, he's very polarizing. He's very exciting. So if I was Bob Arum, if I was his promotional company, Top Rank, what I would do is I would start up like a IG, a TikTok, a fucking Instagram, a YouTube channel. I think I already said IG. Twitter, inviting people, a Twitch, something like that, right? To where it would be nothing but like Bud doing competitive shit. Like it would be, whether it be 2K, Madden, COD, something that's going to make him seem competitive. Whether he's playing football, basketball in real life, what's going on, regulator? Ping pong, like we saw him playing. I think he played one of the Maloney's in ping pong. It was like really into it. Like, I think if you could get him in a competitive mindset, he's very polarizing. But without competition on the line, he's just dull. Yeah. I got you. Let's see. Porter can make this a wrestling match, and he's strong. But here's the problem with that. JD. You got to think about this. Terrence Crawford, before he was a boxer in middle school, high school, was a wrestler. Was a very good wrestler at that. His kids are wrestlers. I believe one of his sons is a state champion wrestler. So you're talking about a guy who comes from a wrestling background before he even came to boxing. That's what he knows. That's what he is. So I don't see how even the wrestling matchup is going to bode well for Sean Porter. What's going on, actual facts? You can click the link. I'm not going to be live for too much longer, but we're going to be live for a moment. So you see what I'm saying? Like, when I think about this from all aspects of the fight, I don't see what advantage Crawford brings to this. He's shorter. His arms are a lot shorter. His defense is worse. His power is worse. His speed is worse. His footwork is worse. His technical skills is worse. Every category that I think of, Porter is worse than Crawford. Anytime I look to even the wrestling, I can't give it to Porter. He's worse. Now, maybe Porter would be better if they was like seeing who the better running back was. Maybe, because Porter used to be a running back in high school, I believe, but that's it. And even then, I don't know. My bad, guys. My mic muted itself for some reason. I don't know if I was losing reception or what. Let's see. I'm going out on a limb here. Resume overall, I got Porter on this one. So here's the problem, Holy Inferno. This is what I've been talking about with a lot of people who go off this resume stuff. If you're going to compare resumes, I'm out and about myself, bro. All right, that's cool. Actual facts. Here's the problem with going down the resume route, okay? Here's the biggest issue that I have. Sean Porter, his three biggest fights against the three elites of the welterweight division. They were elite when he fought them. They were undefeated when he fought them. He lost to all of them. He lost to Kell Brook, who was undefeated at the time, considered an elite. He lost to Keith Thurman, who was undefeated, considered an elite at the time. And then he lost to Earl Spence Jr., who's considered an elite right now and still undefeated. When you look at Bud Crawford, every supposed elite fighter that he fought at the time, I don't care what happened after he beat them. We're not looking into the future of how their career plan are panned out. When he fought Gamboa was undefeated. He was undefeated and a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter at the time. Way more experienced than Crawford was at the time, and Crawford dusted him. When he fought Victor Postol was undefeated, and in my opinion here recently, he should have beat Ramirez. I thought he beat Ramirez convincingly, and Ramirez got a gifted decision. On top of that, when I looked at Josh Taylor fighter, already defeated, an older Postol, he looked worse against him than Crawford did. So that's another elite fighter that he had that was undefeated. Benavidez. Now, Jose Benavidez, he did not look good in his last fight. I thought he lost the last fight. He got a gifted draw. However, he's been removed from the ring for 3 years. He was undefeated when Crawford fought him. He was considered a threat. He beat him, and I did miss one. Let's go back. Ndongo. Now, yes, Ndongo's career did not play out well after he lost to Bud Crawford, but it's irrelevant yet again. Because what's going on, UGC Flame? How you doing? It's irrelevant again because when Ndongo fought Crawford, he was supposed to be that guy, that next coming. He was supposed to be that good, but he wasn't. He got dusted by Crawford, and he was undefeated. So, again, when I look at resumes, Inferno, I can't just stick in the welterweight division because at the end of the day, boxing is not just about one weight class. It's about your whole history, every weight class you've been in. Now, it is not Crawford's fault that Porter has only been at welterweight. So, of course, he has a deeper resume at welterweight. But Crawford has come up 3 weight classes, including in his last one, been undisputed, cleared it out. So, again, when I look at resumes, I would argue that I believe that Crawford has the much better resume because every elite fighter that he's ever fought in the respective weight class that he fought him at, he came out on top and he beat him. Not only did he beat him, but he gave these elite guys their first loss, which is something Porter has been unable to do. Who is Sean Porter's greatest win? Would it be Danny Garcia? Would it be Paulie Malignaggi? Maybe, didn't he fight Devin Alexander? I believe he did. Battle of the Headbutts. I believe he did. Would those be his greatest wins? Are any of those better than a post style? I don't think they are. So, not to like dig at you, Holy Inferno, but I'm just saying when I look at it, I disagree. I see it differently. I think Crawford has the better resume by far. The link is in the chat if anybody wants to jump on and give their opinion. Ugas. Let's talk about Ugas. I am glad that you brought up Ugas, JD. Now, I know Black Horseman, a.k.a. UGC Flame, he likes Ugas. So he's going to disagree with me hard here. He's going to disagree with me. But I'm going to say this. People talk about Crawford, and they talk about that at 140 he was in a weak division, right? Well, Crawford was in such a weak division, and Ugas is such a good fighter, then why around the same time frame was Ugas losing in that same weight class? I believe he got 3 losses at 140, 1 loss at 147. But yet Terrence Crawford goes there and goes undefeated and beats the who's who's of the division pretty close to the same time frame. So Ugas even solidifies and supports what I am saying about Crawford and how I see him above these guys. Now, to fall off Porter real fast, because when you talk about Crawford, it always comes up Earl Spence Jr. I want to say this disclaimer real fast. Regardless if Crawford beats Porter convincingly, one-sided, knocks him out, to me, it's irrelevant to how Crawford and Spence is going to look. Spence is much bigger than Crawford, and he fights way different than Crawford. And he's better at counterpunching, and he's way better at jabbing. So just because I believe that Porter's going to get knocked out doesn't per se mean that automatically by default I believe Spence is going to lose to Crawford. I just want to throw that out there before the Spence argument comes out somewhere down the line, which it could or could not. But anyways, let me see what you said. You said, I like the way you explain, but you can't compare a sub-division to glamour division resume. But that's what I'm asking you, Holy Inferno. What true welterweight at the top has Sean Porter beat? That's my real question. To me, when I looked at Sean Porter, what's going on, Grindhard? How you doing? To me, when I look at Sean Porter, I see a very good fighter. I see a guy who I would hate to call him this, but I have to call him this. I see a fighter who is like a gatekeeper, in my opinion. He is the one who stands in front of the gate. And if you can get through that gate, you are an elite fighter at the welterweight division. However, if you cannot beat him, you are not elite. But all the elites will beat him. That's how I see Sean Porter. He's a very good fighter, but he's not elite. And if you can beat him, then you are good enough to fight the elites. If you cannot beat him, then you don't belong in there with the elites. To me, he is the real measuring stick of how good you actually are. And I hate to say that. I hate to say that about Porter because I like Porter. I like Porter a lot. But that's how my eyes view him. Unfortunately, he's just, the era that he's in, he's where he's at. If he would have been, I can't even say in a past era, because then he would have been running to Mayweather. He would have been running to Pacquiao. Then you can't even go back further than that because I don't know where he would fit in, but I do believe at some point in time he could have been a top guy. But this isn't the era for him. He's that guy that if you can beat him, you're elite. If you can't, there's no way you're going to be an elite guy. but you have to see him. You have to be able to pass. He's like the mini boss before the final boss in a video game. That's the best way I could tell you. He's like if you want to go way back to MK, he's like the Goro to Shang Tsung. Like if you can't get past Goro, you can't get to Shang Tsung. If you can't beat Mataro, you can't get to Shao Kahn. Like you have to get through him to prove that you can do something. That's the best way that I can describe where I see him at. Now, I will say this on the flip side of the coin. With everything that I have said, into the playback that will hear what I have said, here's the deal. Here's the deal that I look at. Is it possible for Sean Porter to beat Bud? Yes, it is. Is it possible that me, including other people, are really overestimating how good Bud is? Because truth be told, we have not seen him in there with an elite welterweight. Yes, it is. It is very possible that Bud could get in there and he just looks not strong enough, doesn't hit hard enough. Everything that some people who are detractors of Bud, it is a possibility that that could all be true. I find it highly unlikely. I think it's a 1% chance of being the case, but it is a possibility. It is a possibility that he gets in there with Porter. Porter takes his best shots, and Porter's like, yo, this shit don't even hurt, and just runs through him. And then Bud can't pass the test. We've seen Bud wobbled. I will say this. If Porter drops Bud, there's going to be some serious questions that need to be answered, even if Bud wins, if he gets in there with a Spence. Because if he can get dropped by Porter, he could get knocked the fuck out by Spence. I can tell y'all that right now. And I'm not even a huge Earl Spence fan, but I'm telling you, if Crawford gets dropped by Porter, especially on just like a clean one shot, not a combination, not a breaking you down, but I just get you cleanly once and I drop you, that's not going to bode too well for his chin going into a fight against somebody like Earl Spence. But I don't think that'll be the case. I'm just saying that's a possibility. Because I can guarantee you this. I can guarantee you this right now. Earl Spence Jr. is going to be watching this fight. And he's going to be over there playing with his horses, playing with his chickens. And I can tell y'all this right now. He going to put his horse up, and he going to put his hand back in the hen house. If he sees Porter drop Bud, he going to take that fight ASAP. I promise you. Hey, Black, I'm telling you, if Porter can drop Bud, which I highly doubt it. I'm just saying if, hypothetical world, I guarantee you Spence will jump all over this fight. He may have like a tune-up before it, but I guarantee you he jumps on the fight. Because, again, I have to say, if Porter drops him, then I know it is possible, beyond possible, that Spence could stop him. That's all I'm saying. When it comes to Chin, I dropped the link in the chat if y'all want to get on. I've only got like probably 10, 15 more minutes before I got to get off. I'm about to go hit these gyms because, you know, your boy done got big. We big over here. We strong over here. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to push to that 400 bench again. So, you know, I'm driving up to the gym right now to get this little swole on. But before I do that, people can jump on here and talk about it. Let me know what y'all think, because I've already picked my knockout. I just want to know if y'all feel the same. So let me drop this link again, just in case people don't see it. And y'all are more than welcome to jump on before I get off, which, like I said, is going to be about 10, 15 minutes, because I'm going to hit this pre-workout in the car and get amped up like I'm on cocaine. All right, so let's go to paste. Boom. Oh, shit, it did not send. You know, this is so hard. There it goes. It did send. Okay. It's very hard to do this while driving. And it sucks that I couldn't put a damn thumbnail of the actual fighters on the video versus having guts from Berserk. Now we're going to drink this pre-workout, and then we're going to go work out. But let me see. Fine, I'll hop on for a spell. Let me All right. We'll do that then, Holy Inferno. You're more than welcome to jump on. Like I said, I only got about 10 to 15 more minutes left. This was just a short live, and I really want Black to get on because Black, he can sound just like Earl Spence. Like you would think he was doing an interview with me. Speaking of interviews, I've got to call this number. I don't know if y'all saw the fight, but there was a fighter that I felt got robbed named Dakota. And supposedly his coach hit me up and left the number, so I got to call the number to see if it's legit. And if it is, I'll do my first interview. Not quite sure how I'm going to do it because I've never done interviews, and I'm not ever wanted to do an interview because I don't feel like I would be a good interviewer for fighters because I'm going to ask them shit that they don't want to answer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to really, probe and ask questions that they try to evade, and they would not like me, and I would probably never get more than one interview with them. So that's why I've never tried to get into that or request people to do it. But the coach hit me up in the comment section, and if it's legit, I don't mind getting him on. We could talk to him, see what he says, see why he got into boxing, etc. But I just felt like he got robbed, and he showed a lot of heart. Oh, shit, motherfucker. I just spilled some shit on my floor. Thank goodness that I got all-weather mats. Hey, if anybody's tried to join, I do not see y'all. Unless the link isn't working. I don't know. Let me see. Okay, we're going to try to do this and not lose. I'm going to cut the car off because I'm parked now. Hopefully it'll stay on the Bluetooth. I don't know if it stayed on Bluetooth or not. Can y'all still hear me? If you still hear me talking, say I hear you or write the number 1. Or you could troll me and be like, there's no sound. There's no sound. We don't hear your sound. You could troll me as well. Okay, hold on. We got a guest. Who's coming? We got Mike Boston. We got
what's that,
Mike,
man?
Yeah.
Okay, we got more people. What's going on?
Hey,
doing good. How about yourself?
Chilling. I've been watching you for a minute, man. You go hard, fam.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, what's up, man? Hold on, I'm just trying to get outside.
So my only scare about Crawford. Oh.
I think there's like a lag, a delay. Go ahead. What's your only scare?
No, my bad, man. Sorry, I'm inside a store. I'm just walking outside right now.
I probably want to take off my Bluetooth in the car.
Hey, sorry about that,
my only thing about Crawford is that he is a slow starter, and I think that boy can get points off early. And I think Crawford is so used to adjusting that he may be too late with Porter. And I think because of Porter been fighting, the people at his level, I think later in the fight, Crawford is so used to adjusting to, to, B- fighters, B- level fighters that he might have his handfuls at the end of the fight. But that's the only way I can see Porter winning. But I do think that could be a 60% probability.
So I'm going to respond to that directly because I didn't even think about that. I'm going to be honest with you. You just told me something that really did not cross my mind. You were 1,000% correct on, and I didn't even equivalate this into my prediction. Damn. So you are right. Crawford does tend to start in the first 3 to 4 rounds extremely slow. He's kind of methodical, looking to calculate, kind of like Mayweather did, but much slower at it than Mayweather was. Also, you were also correct in the last thing you said, which I didn't think about. The fighters that he does tend to fight, you can see them deteriorate as the fight goes on. So they're getting weaker as it gets later in the fight, whereas Porter, he's going to be just as strong from round 1 to round 12. So that definitely, that could really play a role into it too. I didn't think about that at all. That's good points. Oh shit! That's real good.
Yeah.
in Crawford's last fight, he settled in just fine against Kell Brook and stopped him real quick. I mean, he had no trouble whatsoever.
Yeah, and it was a real short fight too. And he's been inactive for a very long time too. But so is Porter.
Yeah, so is Porter. And just what I'm saying is what we've seen from Bud Crawford, what have we seen from him consistently? He gets in there and he stops guys. I can't remember the last time he went the distance. He is a master finisher. If anyone can stop Sean Porter, I'm not saying that he does it, but a guy like Terrence Crawford is a natural finisher. That's what he is. He has a natural ability to take guys out when they're vulnerable. And while he can box, he can box on the outside all night, but he can also box on the inside, which makes him so dangerous. I just think that Sean Porter is going to get completely outclassed and beat up, possibly stopped.
I was surprised when Crawford had stopped the machine because people want to hate on the Mean Machine, but he was a top 10. You know, I love guys who fight their top 10s. You know, many of these champions don't fight their top 10s, but Mean Machine was, I think, top 7 at the time. And I was surprised that Crawford had stopped him. Oh, really?
Well, I mean, you can look at Mean Machine too. Look at Mean Machine. After he lost to Crawford, he had, you know, his layoff, and then he got in there with Virgil Ortiz, who was very active, and he damn near dropped Ortiz. Like, he hurt him. He did hurt him.
Yeah,
he hurt him bad early.
Didn't he knock him down? Didn't Ortiz actually hit the mat and that's it, or no?
I don't think it got counted. I don't think they counted it as a knockdown.
Oh, that's right. You're right. But it was a knockdown. It was actually like it was kind of like the Crawford knockdown. They both were actual knockdowns, but they weren't counted. But if you think about it, if a guy like that can get dropped by Mean Machine, the dude Mean Machine's got power, man. Like if he catches you, like you get hurt, and like I give Bud credit for recovering and stopping him in that fight.
But you know, Crawford got hurt at him too. I thought Mean Machine officially dropped Crawford because Crawford instantly was trying to hold on and eventually fell to his knees. Mean Machine came in with the right hand. Like Crawford was trying to weave a hook, so he kind of tried to slip back and he rolled his jaw right into the angle of the straight right hand. I mean, it was like kind of amorous, but
yeah, Mean Machine can crack, man. He can. Mean Machine is no fucking slouch, man. Dude can crack. Dude definitely can crack.
Yeah, no, Mean Machine's a very good counter too, and got very quick reaction. He's very reactionary whenever he attacks. But the one thing I will say though that I have seen about Crawford, which is something I've never seen from any other fighter ever in the history of me watching boxing, and even looking at tapes from way back, throwbacks, black and white film, I've never seen this. When Crawford gets into like an anime, a cartoon, when Crawford gets hurt, he goes fucking Super Saiyan. Like I've never seen a dude who gets better after he gets hurt. I've never seen it.
He's competitive hell. Like, because every time he gets hurt, he want to make a statement about something, and every champion like that. Like, that's a big test that a lot of professionals don't want to take. But, you know what I'm saying, he do the emotional in that ring, and he's just very good at what he do when he gets emotional like that.
Yeah. Greg, you there?
What's up, y'all?
How you
Can
doing?
you hear me?
Who you see winning? Yeah, we
Man,
can hear you.
I got Bud by decision, man. I think Porter he smothered his work, and I see like him coming in reckless, Bud getting off a couple of them overhand rights that he good at. And Porter, he don't got a good track record in the late rounds. He got dropped by Broner in the late rounds, by Errol in the late rounds. You know what I'm saying?
Surprising. That was crazy.
Yeah, like the punches he be landing, the judges probably don't give him all his credit a lot. They probably don't see it all because, you know, he like kind of all up in it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of smothering it.
Yeah.
So that's
well, that's my biggest issue with him. And the thing about it is, I really think that the Crawford likes to do little half step backwards where he counter shots, whether it's short little hook or uppercuts. And against a guy who's shorter, who smothers, which means they get too close, I think that little half back step is going to be what really the downfall of Porter. I don't think he's going to be able to adapt or adapt to it.
I ain't gonna lie.
Thanks for joining. I appreciate you joining the chat. Have a good time at work, and make sure you get back on the clock. Make that money. But yeah, just say that little half step into the counter punching is really gonna hurt Porter. Another thing too is when Porter really starts to let loose with his punches, he gets real wide with them. And I think the very straight shots that Crawford can throw will cause a lot of issues as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know about the stoppage. I know it's all look like it's tailor-made for Bud to get a stoppage because of Porter's style, but I don't know. I just don't see that right now. Yeah,
well,
like I say, Bud, like y'all say, Bud is a slow starter too.
Yeah, I didn't think about it. Like, he brought up a really, really, really good point about him being a slow starter, and then how a lot of the guys that Bud fights fade, and I don't think Porter will fade. But he brought up really good valid points that I didn't even think about, that I should have thought about. But this is why grind that I believe that Porter is going to get knocked out. It's because he's been knocked down before, and it's not from combinations that have knocked him down. When he got knocked down by Broner and Spence, it was off one shot. Okay, they caught him cleanly and they dropped him. The problem that I see with that is Bud's not going to hit him with one shot. He's going to hit him with 3, 4, 5, 6 in repetition back to back. So the type of punch selection that Crawford's going to come with is going to test his chin in a different way that it's never been tested before. And I feel like if you can get dropped by a single shot, what happens when you get hit by 5 or 6 power shots back to back in repetition?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Porter be getting hit with a lot of shit he don't see.
I know. He comes in with that head down, like he's still a running back.
Yeah. But it's gonna be interesting to see.
Come on. I agree with you 1,000%. It's going to be very interesting because we're all going to find out. People who are pro Crawford, against Crawford, people who are in the middle, all of us are going to see how good at the top level he is. There's going to be no more excuses. We're all going to get to see how good or how bad he actually is at this weight class. Because what I don't like, and I'm about to get all soon, but what I don't like, grinding, I don't know if you've seen this and you can tell me if you have, but I've already seen now, the same people that were saying that Crawford needed to fight Porter are the same people now starting to say that, well, Porter, he just lost and he's already got 3 total losses and it's really not that big of a win. But I'm like, hold up, wait a minute, let's go back. Before this fight was actually going to happen, y'all the same ones saying that he needed to fight this guy. What I'm scared of is, to get to the point, I'm already starting to see the excuses roll in as if Crawford's already won the fight.
Mm-hmm. Even Derek James talking about Sean Porter looks like is a dude that Errol Spence took a lot out of.
That's what I'm talking about. They're already coming. But before this fight was signed, they were all talking about Crawford need to fight Porter. It makes no sense.
Mm-hmm. Sean Porter daddy, he talking about he been calling Bud out for a couple years now. He said he don't want to be here, but he here.
He said Bud doesn't want to be there?
Yeah, because Sean Porter first called him out. You remember Bud was still chasing the Pacquiao fight. And he said, if I don't get the Pacquiao fight, I'm going to get back to you. But he never really did.
But you got to understand, though, somewhere And I remember reading the article. Something about Porter came out of his mouth and said he didn't want to fight Bud because they were friends.
Yeah, that was a while ago. I'm talking about like before this fight when they was looking for fights for Bud and shit. But I really think I don't know, man. I think this is supposed to be Bud versus Virgil right now. I think Virgil turned down this shot.
I personally would rather see him fight Porter than Virgil because at the end of the day, if he beats Virgil Ortiz, which I think he will, people are going to be like, well, Virgil Ortiz was too green. He hadn't fought that many guys at the top. All he fought was Mean Machine. And there's going to be a bunch of excuses why a legitimate win. That's why I like this fight better than the Virgil Ortiz.
Yeah, this one better.
What's going on? How you doing?
Wait, what's up, Tony?
You want to go ahead
Hello?
and give your 2 cents because I'm about to get off here very soon. Yeah, I can hear you. You can hear us?
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, like for the fight, I'm looking forward to it tonight. Gonna watch it and break it down and give my afterthoughts, of course. But going into the fight, my prediction is I have Crawford winning by UD. So.
So you got Crawford by unanimous.
Yeah, I got him by unanimous decision. But I do think it's going to be in my opinion, it's going to be his most competitive fight to date. Yeah, so that's why competitive fight, but I have him winning by decision. I don't really have him.
You say it's going to be a tough fight.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to at least a competitive fight. I don't think that he stops him. Porter. I don't think that he stops Porter. I keep hearing that narrative that he's going to stop Porter. I mean, maybe he could, but I mean, going into it, I don't see that happening. I just think that Porter is a little bit too durable, and the way that Porter fights, he's just a survivalist by nature. So even if he is getting the block beat out of him, he's gonna box, and just shave away the time if he has to. He's very One thing about people don't know about Porter, and they don't give him credit for it. When you look at Porter box, he's very crafty. He's a very crafty fighter, and he does what it takes to earn points, or does what it takes to win, or does what it takes to survive when he needs to survive. So that's one thing I give him. So I think that even if Terrence Crawford starts to come on in the fight, if Porter has to just box his way to survive, that's what he's gonna do to make it to the end of the round.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But all right,
well,
Tony,
my
prediction. No, I was about to say,
all
I
right,
just want to slide through right quick. Appreciate you letting me jump on.
Yeah, I appreciate you jumping on. I appreciate the support. It really helps out a lot. So thank you.
All right.
What were you saying, Tony?
Yeah, I'm about to jump off. Like, I only had like 10, 15 minutes that I've been saying probably like 20 minutes ago before you even jumped on. But before I get off, if you want to tell everybody how you see the fight going, and I'll let you close out the show if you want.
Oh, okay. Well, I see it. I see Porter hopping on Crawford, early on in the fight. I don't know whether I want to say that he's going to either press Crawford in the beginning, or is he going to try to figure him out the first round or two, then hop on him. But basically, the first half of the fight, I know it's going to be action-packed. I feel like, and then I think that Crawford's going to start to figure Porter out. And towards the middle of the fight, so around 7 or 8, Crawford's going to start to come on. And then Porter's going to start to get backed up, and then I think that Porter's going to. I think that Porter's probably going to win a round towards the late. But I think that Porter's going to win about the first 3 or 4. The first half of the fight, I think he's going to win about 3 or 4 of those rounds, and win like maybe a round towards the end of it. And then you're going to see Porter get into survival mode at one point. And I think Crawford's going to come on really strong, and he gets into survival mode, and the weather's a storm. And then you just see kind of like towards the championship rounds, you're going to see like, Crawford in control, but Porter's still in it. and then there's Crawford just winning a UD, and the last round is Crawford, getting that round and winning a UD. So I think that Crawford's
I
gonna I think Crawford's gonna kind of come out strong, or maybe around like rounds 8, 9, it's gonna be strong. But like the last couple of rounds, Porter's gonna be able to at least hold his own, and maybe nick a round or something like that, and then at least hang in there towards the end, and then you're gonna see Crawford win a UD.
I like it. I like it. I see it. Like I said, I've got Crawford by knockout, but I can definitely see all y'all's points, and I can definitely see it going to decision. I appreciate you jumping on the live. I appreciate everybody else jumping on the live. And if you get far in the video, on the playback, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section. Who do you think is going to win? How do you think they're going to win? How do you see the fight going? Other than that, I'm about to jump off, hit this gym, get my swole on, because your boy getting big, getting strong, very close
say this.
to a 400-plus bench. Yeah, go ahead.
Good, man. Yeah, I was gonna say this real quick, but if I say this real quick, if Crawford doesn't get a knockout, I'm gonna criticize him, because everybody's predicting a knockout. I don't want to hear no excuses. Everybody's predicting a knockout, so that's why I don't think he's going to get it. But other people, the critics and of Porter and the PBC and whatever, etc., they're saying that Crawford's going to knock him out. So I expect that to happen. That's what I'll say.
Well, I thought majority of people were saying decision. I didn't know that most people are picking knockout. I thought I was one of the few saying a knockout. But you can definitely criticize me if I get it wrong. If I get it wrong and it goes to decision, you can definitely hit up the comment section whenever I drop the post-fight breakdown right after it ends, and let people know who wins. You could definitely leave a comment like I told you so.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. We're going to see tonight.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
And again, to everybody who listened, everybody who commented, everybody who jumped on the live panel, I thank y'all very much for the support. It means a lot. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Y'all have a good day, and look forward to having a good